Hello, hello. Oh my, why are we blurry? Let me see if I can fix that. Why am I so blurry? Okay, there we go. That's why. Okay, I'm late. I was supposed to be on at 2 o'clock, and it is now 2:18. So my apologies for that, and hopefully my battery will hold out. So we'll see how things go. And yeah, so I had you facing the ceiling, so we'll see if I can crop that out. But welcome to Nemi's Crafty Cafe. I was busy doing real life things, and so I was on a call actually, and so unfortunately it ran longer than expected. And today we are here because I did a class, or I was supposed to do a workshop for my cousin, and it turned into now an online thing. So I put together 10 kits, and 8 people have bought. So I have 2 more kits ready for you. So if anybody is interested, they are $42 plus shipping, which won't cost like maybe it'll cost like maybe $5. So let's say 47 if you're interested, and you will get this package here, which includes an ink spot of Secret Sea. You'll get a acrylic block. You'll also get 6 cards along with gems and everything that's needed. So everything is here, literally. And then last but not least, you get a copy of the traditional label stamp set. The only thing you need to supply, I don't even think you need scissors, but we'll see, is some adhesive. So in the workshop, you had the option to buy a adhesive share, which then gets you a roll of tearing tape, some dimensionals, which is this big one, dimensionals, meaning they give height, and mini glue dots. So that was included in your pack. So I am going to use this. I don't normally use the shares, but because most of you are beginners, I wanted to make sure that that was there. For all of you that are avid stampers, use whatever you got, and feel free to go rogue on my designs because they're just there to help you. Okay, so a couple quick tips. Everything should be in there. They're all labeled, sets 1 and 2. If you have never stamped before and you are new, I believe I went through and I have wiped down every one of your stamps. So these are photopolymer stamps, which means you need to make sure you have a sturdy surface to work with. And what I mean by sturdy, it means it needs to be flat and strong. Like I know my table is not, and so I prefer to use a, foam mat so that that way I know it's flat. You can also, if you ever have paper pumpkin kits or kit collections, there's a piece of cardboard in there that can be used as well. That is very handy and lovely to use. Unfortunately, I did not put a piece of cardboard in each of the packs, so that's my apologies. I probably should have, and that would have been much better. And then you have something also to stamp on. Okay, so and if I get hold of Julia before then and she can connect with me, maybe I'll send a few pieces off to her because I have plenty of them, and I use them quite often actually, and I like to have them wherever I am in case I do. I keep spares in my craft to go kit just in case, just in case I forget my mat. Okay, so if you have never stamped before, just a reminder, these are little ink spots. I'm going to use mine, which is has been given to me from one of my kits actually. So I'm going to use mine. Normally I use a standard ink pad, but since most of you have this, I want to make sure I work with that so that you are working with it too. And you have your block, which means every word in your traditional stamp set should actually work with everything that we're doing. And we're going to walk through it, and you can pause and run this video as often as you like, because I'm sure many of you are here. Oh, I see 3 people on, but say hi if you'd like, or just give me a thumbs up. But feel free to comment, and I will catch your comments later. Um, but everything should be workable. So I'm going to use my set just so you know. So I'm going to put aside that kit so that it's available, and then we're going to go. Okay, so set number one is should have your gems in there as well as 3 cards. So this set is so the original plan was to have 10 cards and you choose 6. So because we're not in person anymore, I've chosen 6 for you. So these 3 actually come from a paper pumpkin kit and I've modified them to actually work. And these are your gems. So be careful when you actually open that. So I purposely put them whenever I kit in a post-it notes because they get lost. And most demonstrators, some of them put them loose inside the card, but because I don't know who's actually stamped before, it's so much easier this way. So just flip it upside down and then just peel back the post-it note. And there should be, I believe, um, 10 or 11 gems in there. 11. So you should have 11 gems in there that are needed for these 3 cards. So I'm just going to put that in front right there. Now, the other thing you will need besides some adhesive is if you're using, and you received one of these because you brought it in the product share, is you're going to need a toothpick because these are not easy to come off. They're so much better when you actually use a toothpick. But I have a take your pick tool, which is a fancy tool that has multiple different tips, and it has the gummy stuff at the end. I forget what you call it. And I find that that's more useful for me. And so I'm going to use that instead of going and grabbing a toothpick. But it's so much easier to pick them off than it is to use your finger. Okay, so let's get started. So your first pack, you're going to open it up, and it's just a sealable bag. So literally, just open it up like so, and it just comes apart. And then take out your contents. Okay? And once you get your contents out, you're going to have 3 envelopes. And each envelope contains each one. So the first part we're going to work on is this Joy to You. And it looks literally like this. So we are going to grab the envelope, which is the first one. And you should see that it is the right one because it should have the pieces inside of it. So I'm just going to put this to the side and work with you here. So this is your card base. And then inside you should have your pecan pie with stars on it, your joy, and 3 letters that need to go on here. Joy. And then we're going to stamp. Okay, so we're starting off simple and then we're going to work to a lot more complex cards. And then it also has 2 of these, which then just tuck in underneath on each end. And voila, you have your card. So the only thing we need to do is stamp here. So we want to do joy to something else. So I chose to you. So we're going to grab the to you. And we're going to look inside here and to you is right here. And we're just going to lay that flat and pick it up on the block. So they stick real quick and easy, nice and easy, just like that. Now you're going to add some ink. And with an ink spot, because they are so small, make sure I can open mine here. Oh, maybe this is brand new. Ooh la la, it's brand new. Dun 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 dun. You have a piece of tape on yours, by the way. I sealed yours so that the lid wouldn't pop off. So make sure, just look for that tape. For me, it's right here. Okay, I think I got it. Or not. There we go. Okay, brand new ink package. There we go. Okay, so because it's so small, I prefer to hold my ink and tap. And now you can practice a couple times. So you're just going to lightly tap. Oh, that turned out pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes it's like this and it's a little blurry. Sometimes you might miss. Now you notice I'm tapping. I'm tapping like you're kissing your grandma. Okay? You don't need to press hard. You don't need to there you can see it's a little off. So you want it as even as possible, as much as possible. So use a blank sheet of paper, like scrap, something old that you're just about to throw in the garbage, and just do a couple practice runs. But again, don't mush or smooch or whichever, just tap lightly and just make sure those letters are covered, just like you're kissing grandma. Because if you go too hard, then what's going to happen is you're going to get ink everywhere. And that's how people get inky fingers and damage their ink pad. And then they call me and say, I broke it. I'm like, no, you didn't break it. You just pushed too hard. Okay, so then you're just going to find underneath that O, we're just going to stamp. And again, don't rock it. Don't push really hard. Just lay down, count to 3, lift up, and there you go. And look, most of the ink even transfers off. Now, how do I clean my inks? Well, ideally, we sell chamois. So I'm going to pitch you another tool, which is the chamois. However, if you don't have them, use baby wipes. Baby wipes are the best way to clean your tools if you don't have a chamois. This is a reusable one. Yes, it's black and ugly and does not look, it actually comes nice and purpley like that. But over time, it gets messy and because it's picking up all the ink. And as you can see, it cleans it really, really well. Now, so we're going to put that back into our box, into our stamp set here. Now I have the matching dies that go with this because every time you buy a bundle, you save 10%. And I would rather save than spend more. So those are the matching dies, which are all in your kits, by the way. Okay, so now we're done. And all we need to do now is stick some adhesive. So you're going to grab your dots and hopefully we have enough. If not, well, I purposely picked a small pack so I can show you some other adhesives, but you should. Okay, and we're just adding a couple dots there. And then on the O, we'll add a couple more. I'm going to move that out of the way because I like that the P10 actually shows me. And we're going to add another one on this side. You don't need a lot, so don't go cray-cray and fill the whole thing. Trust me, it'll hold. I've been doing this a very long time. So we're going to put one there. Now this is the letter Y, so a little more difficult. So we're going to add one there. And we probably should put a third just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere on the bottom. So if yours is not yet punched, then punch out that hole because we don't need that. Now this is double-sided tape, right? So we need to remove the top part. That's this little piece here along the top. So this is hard to do with your fingers. I mean, you can, I'll show you, but it's very difficult. And that's what you actually end up with. I like to put mine in a little bowl because the other day I was doing a scrapbook page and I had so many of these little things from dimensionals and it was just like all over my desk. And then of course it gets all staticky, so then you're trying to clean it up and it's hanging on to everything. It's like, oh yeah. Okay, so now you're just going to take that letter and place it right where, just like we learned in kindergarten, where it goes. Oh, see, a third one should be used. Darn, I was hoping I can get away with a second one. So let's add a third one. So I'm going to cheat here and just pull it right off. See, it's already sticking to my finger. And stick that there. Oh, or not, because it doesn't want to come off. There we go. It's just paper, folks, just paper. Okay, and then we're going to put our O. The O is slightly angled, so don't think that you're putting it on crooked because you're purposely putting it on crooked. And then we need our Y. So we're going to take the 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are small, so when you're using a toothpick, it works so good. Oh, see, stuck to my finger. Whatever. And then we're just going to stick that Y on. I'm going to use this guy up here as my marker. Up there, there, there. Joy to you. And then these two, easy. We're just going to add another one in the middle. Peel that off. And you're like, how is this all going to stick together? Don't worry, we're almost there. And then we're going to lay that right in the middle so that our leaves are showing. And push. And then there you go. It's stuck together. So we're going to do the same on the other side. So again, these kits are fantastic because the paper pumpkin kits, they're actually on sale right now. And for three, they're subscription based. So you can gift these. They make great gifts because everything comes with it except for your scissors. You get all the adhesive and the block, and it's fantastic. And even this mini stamp set, but I chose a big one so that you have something to walk away with. Okay, so now we're going to take our big dimensionals. These are called dimensionals. I like to call them Pop-Tarts. Oh, hi, Barb. Hello. Did you enjoy your birthday? And as prime tradition, as being the greatest team leader of the Prairie Grass Stampers, is I forget every year to give cards to my team members. It's terrible. And so I figured, you know what, I'm going to continue the trend. And come January, my New Year's resolution is to make sure I give cards out to each of my team members and those that I actually care for and love. And Barb is one of them. So I completely, yeah, I've forgotten so many times. I'm terrible. Yet I have 50 million cards and I can't seem to send them out. Let me tell you, it's a running joke in this house. Okay, so now, again, we did the same thing. And you see, I only put four. I tried to overlap where things kind of connect. You don't need a lot. And then we're just going to lay that down. So again, I have two more kits of these, so I hope you really like them. And then we need three gems. So we're going to take a small one and two big ones. So we're going to pop this small one right up here. And then we're going to put a big one. Oops, see, they fly. Up there. And then another one. Now, these have adhesive on the back of them already, so they are good to go. And ready to bling up. Now, we just need our card base, which is right here. This is going to go on the front. And we're going to grab our tear and tape. It's literally tear and tape. But for those of you that know me, I'm a little OCD and I like to use scissors because I find that it works a lot easier. I'm going to put that lid on there because I'm probably going to get all it all over me. Because I find it's a lot easier to peel when it's a flat edge. But, everybody has their own way. And so we're going to add a little bit in the corner. Not a lot, like maybe a quarter of an inch. Or is that half an inch? I'm terrible. And see, I hate tearing like this. Sick. There you go. And then another one in this corner. So not a lot, literally like half an inch. You don't need, like, this stuff is so sticky. Look, it's like literally stuck to my finger. So this isn't a cheap type of adhesive. Look, it didn't stick because I pulled it too fast. It's good adhesive. Now, you can pick this off with your finger, but honestly, when it's not flush, it's very difficult. I find I just missed the bin. But I do find that using my take your pick tool is so much easier. Okay. Or in your case, maybe it's a toothpick. And then you're just going to center that. Just eyeball it, find that middle, and push. And there's card number one. Beauty. Now you can stamp on the inside, so it says joy to you. And then you could put whatever you want on the inside. So pick whichever stamp you like, and maybe it's just for you, or you could just put to and from if you like, whichever one, and stamp the inside of your card. And that is card number one. So what I like to do too is I like to take my card, stick it back in the envelope so that I don't lose it, and I know it's ready for some journaling and ready to go. Okay, next one. So our next one has green on the inside. This one's a little tricky, but it looks tricky, but it's not. And I'll show you the little technique in there. So you're going to pull everything out of your envelope. And then there's all your bits and pieces, right? So we're going to make an ornament with this one. And we're going to stamp it with sending cheer. I think the original said, I don't know, deck the halls or something. Something like that. Okay, so we're going to stamp again. So now, where's our block? Here. And we're going to put sending cheer on that one. So we're going to grab the word sending. I think it's this one. And I like how it just dropped right into place. Cheer. So what I like to do is position it there into my, now you can see these curve a little bit, and I also do not have it centered. I have it angled. So just to give it a little oomph in my design. So I'm just putting them together, making sure they fit onto my label. Oh, I can go a little higher, so I'm going to move it a little higher. Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter if I move it higher. I just got to make sure it all fits within that gold trim. And then you're going to take your block and you're going to put it right on top, and it's going to stick and you peel. So again, we're just going to grab our ink spot, stuck, tap it, make sure it's all nice and covered, right? All your letters are nicely covered. You can see there. Love that blue. It's like a stuck between blue and black. Now, because I can't put my head over top, I have to move mine at a bit of an angle here. And then I'm going to drop, no rocking, count to three, 1, 2, 3, just a little pressure, pop it off, and there it is. And then we're going to clean it. And make sure you put your ink spot back. I just like mine to leave mine upside down. That way you don't accidentally put paper in it or you don't knock your finger into it. And we're good. So we can put those back, just letting the ink dry. And we'll put that back in. So yes, I apologize. If you're catching the replay, I was late because I was on a phone call and ran like 15 minutes over. But that is what happens. Okay, so now all we have to do is assemble. How easy is that? Okay, so this we'll do our, here's our ornament. So our ornament just lines up like so. And I put the snowflakes at the top. So we're going to take some more of those mini glue dots and we're going to plop one on each side. Don't worry about the middle because that's going to be held down by our sentiment. So we're just putting them on each of the 4 tips over here where we know they'll be hidden. If you put them on these skinny parts, then you're going to have adhesive sticking out, which is not a good thing because then when you stick it in the envelope, guess what? It's going to stick to the inside of the envelope. And that's not what we want. Okay, so we're going to peel those off like we did last time. 2, peel this one. 3, peel that one. 4. Okay. And then this is going to go right on top. So we're just going to line that up, right? Your 2 points, line up your 2 points, and then just push down. And then there's our ornament. So now the ornament obviously needs some string and a topper right there. So we're going to take a dimensional. That's the big hexagon ones. And stick it right below the stem. Flip it and plop that on. Now you're going to notice that it is sticking out a bit, but that's okay because that is what's going to go on here. So let's add a couple more. So let's put a couple more here at the bottom. And that way we can easily, you could put another one if you want, but I don't think it's necessary. So we're going to turn our base and then we're just going to line that up at the top. Slightly to the right because we need space here to put our sentiment. And it should, oh, my stem's crooked, that's why. Let's fix that. Just peel it off. Remember, it's just paper. Paper and ink. Okay, so we're just gonna make sure I'm lined up there. Oh, I gotta move over a bit. I just want it overhanging just a tad. Just just a wee bit, so you can kind of see it's hanging over. This could be flush or hanging a bit. And then we're gonna put a dimensional there. I'm gonna put it here so you can see where it's going. And then on this one, on the back of this, we're gonna put on the other side, the opposite side, because it's going on this side. This way our heights are the same. We're gonna get that right there. And there you go. So now we just need to put this on our card front. So again, we're gonna grab that tear tape. And again, just put that little bit that we need. You can use your block like I am to rip it, because I find that using my finger does not work for me. It does not work very well. You just make sure it's stuck, and then the other corner. And literally, it's like just half an inch. Not a lot. You don't need a lot. Okay, and we're going to peel those back. I have to make sure I'm done by 3:30 because I have to make dinner and we have to take off for soccer. We got early soccer today. Ah, Tuesdays. Tuesdays are always crazy around our house. Mondays, Tuesdays, because it's overlap. So when I say overlap, our kids have activities that overlap and requires two drivers. Okay, so make sure your card is opening the right way, and then we're just gonna stick that on top. And voila! You're almost done card number 2. So we're gonna add some more of those beautiful gems, we call them gems, embellishments. I'm just gonna put 2 there. I like to do a big and a small when there's 2 of them together. And then on the bottom, we're gonna add a small one down here, wherever you like. So there you go. So here I put it a little lower than my original, but that's how that goes together. And again, pick whatever sentiment you want and stamp on the inside. Love it. So we're gonna put that back in so we don't lose it. You can see how easy it just goes into that envelope, ready to get addressed and sent in the mail. That's number 2. And then the third one of this pile is a little more complicated. So that was your warm up. That was your warm up, folks. And it is this one. So it's just got a tree. It looks complicated, but it's really not. It's just because of the layering. And this one has felt on it. It's got like this cool felt. And you're going to build a tree. And then we're going to stamp. So we only need 1 stamp. Oh, missing my star. Maybe I grabbed one that didn't have the star. I know Barbie said there was one without a star. So I must have grabbed the one without the star. So that's okay. We'll get it back. So this one, a little more complicated, but I've already taught you how to do it. So I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see it better. We're going to build our stamp and put merry and bright together. So same thing we did with sending cheer. So we're going to grab the merry. And this is one of the dies. So I just replaced it with this beautiful die here. So we're going to put our merry. Merry, merry, quite contrary. Okay. And then we're going to find the and bright, which is right here in the middle. And bright. And we're going to put those together. I like it when my stamps are touching because then I know the spacing could be right. Okay, there. And then once again, we're just going to grab that block and drop. As always, make sure I got somewhere in here. And we're just going to peel that off. There you go. So let's grab our ink pad again. Our ink spot is what we like to call them. They're spots because they're square and 1-inch size. Tap, tap, tap. And then we're going to lightly tap and hold for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, just in the center, eyeballing where you think it needs to go. And then drop. And there you go. Merry and bright. So grab your baby wipe or a chamois if you have and clean that off. And then we're going to put that back in our stamp set. And our ink is covered so we don't get it all over ourselves. And that'll give us an extra 30 seconds to dry. Now the ink dries really fast on these stamps because they are water-based and they quickly dry. So you don't really have to worry about that. I'm just pointing that out because I know there could be a lot of you newbies on here. Okay, so to build our tree, bottom with the 5, middle with the 6, and then 3 for the top. And as you can see, we're just filling in those white spaces, right? But we're going to add some lift to the tree. And to add lift, it means we're going to use dimensionals to get that lift going. So we're going to take a dimensional, excuse me, and we're going to drop one there. And then we're going to drop a second one right inside the middle as well. And then we're going to peel those off. And then we're going to take that middle layer and just use it to fill in right over top so that our trees, our lines are lined up on either side. You can see on the back they're lined up and they're touching the other tips. So then there we go. So it looks a little funny because we're going to flatten that, but it's going to add that little bit of flair. And up there, I would probably just put one because it's a card and it's literally going to just hold while it's waiting to get delivered to bring cheer to somebody. And it's going to drop right there. And there, you've now built a tree. How easy is that? Now, to finish our tree, there is a star. So I'm just going to take this one off of mine because I have a star sitting somewhere and I lost it. Or this is the envelope that actually was missing one. And you're just going to take a dimensional and stick it on the back side there. Wait, let me get that off first. I'm cheating, just so you know, because I pulled this one off my other one. And actually, I could probably go just grab one from the bin, but I have more kits, so I'm sure there's one in there. Okay, so we're going to stick that in the center. We're going to add that in the middle so that none of it is peeking out. So when you flip the star, you shouldn't see any of the white. Then we're going to peel the backing because it's a double-sided tape. And then we're just going to stick that star right on top. Perfect. So now we're going to flip and we're going to go back to our glue dots, the little mini glue dots here. And we're going to add a couple at the bottom to hold the tree. Then we're going to add a second one in the middle. And then we'll add an extra at the top. You could probably just go 2 in the middle. Maybe we'll do that. We'll move these over. Go 2 in the middle because I forgot. We have all of this sticking out. And then that's going to go onto our frame piece here. And we're going to pull those off. So if you have a tape runner, which is another thing we like to use, you can use tape runner instead of mini glue dots. They work just as well. I prefer to use liquid glue and my tape runner. So everybody is different. And we're going to plop that in there. Oh, it stuck to me. And I'm just going to pick these up because it's driving me bonkers. Take that off. I don't know why so much of the rubber came out. There. See, staticky. It's so staticky. And then we're just going to drop that right in the middle. So fine, including the star. You don't want that star to be off the page. So you might have to drop it down a bit. And there you go. And it's a little flappy because it's supposed to be. And again, this is going to go right here to the side. So let's just put this on our card base first so we know where we have room. And again, you're going to grab your tear and tape, rip off 1/2 inch. So you can also do it like this, just showing you different ways on how to, it's literally, it's called tear and tape because you can tear it and rip it. So that's what we call it. And if you want to buy these, you can go to my site at nemmybadstone.stampinup.net and shop my store. And this is all available there for you. And if you're sitting there crafting with Julia and her sisters, well then guess what? They should have enough supplies. Because they are not beginners. Every year we usually get together, but this year has been a little more difficult. Just so busy and unexpected actions that were happening, events that happened. Okay, so that is nicely done. And again, ooh, we have extras, so I gave you extras. Woohoo! So we're gonna, oh wait, let's put this guy on first. So you can see here that when you stick him down, he's popped up a bit. So again, we're gonna add in dimensional, these little round things, wherever we think we're gonna put it. And then where's my, oh, there it is. And then we're gonna add a glue dot on this side because it's gonna stick to that velvet side, and just drop that in place. Now we just don't want to make sure it's going off the edge. And then we can put our gems on. So I'm going to take this little one, put one there. I'm going to take this big one, stick it up there, kind of peeking out, and then another one there. And ta-da! There you go. That's your third card. And again, feel free to stamp whatever sentiment you want on the inside. It is your stamp set and yours to do with. And I love the fact that you have all these different words because you can mix them up, right? You can make your own set, right? Like you can even turn it into birthday because it's got sending wishes. So don't think it's like done. And just for you, you can use over and over again as much as you want. Sending love and joy can be used anytime. Doesn't have to just be Christmas. Right? And sending wishes, I said. Let's see what else. What else is there? You can go cheer and add an S to the end to you, right? And you have your to and from, so they're great for tags. And yeah, so I don't know. That's about as much as I can think of at this point. Okay, so those are three. We're halfway done already. Okay, so now you're gonna need pack number 2. So again, this one no different. So I'm gonna pull these out, and I cheated. I didn't have a set ready, so I'm gonna just use my own full pack. So our gems come like this, and what I do is I just take off what you actually need for the kit for each card and add it into your kit. So we are using the deer dots, and it comes in these 4 gorgeous colors, but we're only using 3. Okay, here's the fun. So I've given you kits to actually create on your own. Yay! Whoops! So we're gonna go in order, and they should be, but if not, just look for it. So the first one we're gonna do is Merry Christmas. So when you open your card, you should see a red card base. And hopefully I remembered to put everything in. Did I do bases? I don't remember. Oh, this one doesn't have one. Let me go grab one. I knew it. And I knew I was going to forget that one in that piece. But that's okay because we have extras. I have extras lying around or sitting here, so I'm not too concerned. Oh, no. I don't have extras in that one. Isn't that funny? Okay, let me just grab a piece of white paper so make sure your kit actually has it. It should, but I think because this is my kit, I forgot to put one in there. That's all. Your kits should be complete. I made sure. So just double check. Actually, I could have just pulled it out of that kit that I had sitting there. I'm just going to make me a new one. Not a biggie. Okay. Because it's red, it's a little harder to write with a pen. So we're going to take our pieces, and the only thing you're going to stamp are these 2, because this one's going to say Merry Christmas, and this is going to be whatever you want on the inside. So where's our block? Where's our stamp set? Right here. We keep putting it in a different spot. So we're going to grab Merry Christmas. It's 2 words. two big words. Merry. Let's just move that out of the way. Christmas. So, yeah. So when you get your stamp set, you can take them off and put them onto the stamp set like I did here. Um, because that's how you know if you're missing one. So then Christmas, wherever you like, and then Merry right on top. So again, we're just going to put these together how we like. And then you're going to take your block, drop, and pick. And then again, we're going to tap that till it's fully covered. So when I say fully covered, you can see here, hopefully it shows up, how there's little, you can still see the stamp through it. It's not fully covered. So you want to keep tapping where it's blotchy because you want that solid look, right? There we go. And I'm like tapping light. You probably can hear it a little louder. Well, who knows? And then, and you can practice off to the side again on scrap. And we're just going to press a little light, count to 3, and then lift. And there it is. Merry Christmas. So it's a little off, but don't worry about it. I think it's like that on mine as well. It still works just fine. Oh, yeah, so I'm slightly off there. So I curved it a bit more. And we're going to wipe that off. So the nice thing too about polymers is they are flexible. Not like our red rubber stamps. They are not flexible. I'm going to just keep that off to the side. And then we're going to add this in. Peel that off. Christmas. And put those back so we don't lose them. So see, you can see everything has a home. And then for the inside, you know what? I'm going to put Merry Christmas and I'm going to put sending love and joy. So again, I didn't stamp the other 3, but we have time, so I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to put this to the side so I don't have to keep pulling it on and off. I'm going to put that down, pick up my stamp. Oh, look, it's upside down. So that's another note. Don't stamp your words upside down. And I got ink on my thumb now. I felt it. I dipped my finger into the ink spot. And then we're just going to put sending love and joy. And that's going to go on the inside. And again, grab your baby wipes or whatever. Do not use a paper towel that is not extremely damp because you'll get fluff all over your stamp set and it'll look awful. Let me tell you. Okay, our stamping is done. Now we just need to assemble. So let's grab the old olive base. And we're going to do what we call dry fitting, and that is put everything where you think it should go. Now, these 2 pieces are the same width, so that's how you know. And there is a little bit of green, about 1/8 of an inch all around that leaves some spaces so that you have your green. It's kind of like little frames that go around like that. Okay, so we're going to grab our mini glue dots. So we're just going to flip these over. We're going to put 1 in each corner. Oops. 4. And then we're going to pull those off. Just like we did on the other 3. Oh, well, that preferred to stick to my finger than come off. Okay. Like I said, you could just leave them to the side. But what I find is when you go clean them up, they get all staticky on you. And it's like, oops. Now you're just going to lay that down, making sure it's just eyeballing and making sure you have equal spacing. And then another. Hopefully we don't run out. We shouldn't, but you never know. Take those off. Come on. Doesn't want to come off. There we go. 1. 2, where did it go? 3, oh, it's stuck to my finger. 4, 6, they're staticky little buggers. There, look, see, stuck to my thumb. Okay, then once again, make sure it's even with the top, equaling your distance as much as possible around the all 3 sides, this side between there, top. And then we're going to do our other last one. Oh, look at that beautiful pattern. If you like the other pattern, use it. It's really up to you. This is where I like, when I teach, I'm like, you do what you want to do because you're the one gifting it. They're not going to see my card, they're going to see yours. And that's the fun part. Adding your own spin. Okay. And there. And there. Okay. So we're going to flip that over. And again, now you're trying to line it up in the remaining space, making sure it's somewhat even all around. And then we just have to put our sentiment. So this goes right in the middle there where the all 3 sides kind of meet. And we're going to add some dimensionals. I like to put 3. So no overkill, but it just balances it out. And then just drop that in the middle. And then we have a little space down here. So you have a piece of a 9-inch twine. And you're going to make a bow. Whether you prefer bunny ears or loop-de-loop. I prefer loop-de-loop. I find bunny ears are too hard for my fat fingers. And then you're just going to, not pull it through. Because I didn't. I pulled the wrong one. It's always harder to do bows when I'm recording and everybody's watching me. Where is my end? There it is. And then you're just going to pull on the tails till you get it right. Like so. And when you're happy with it, you're just going to add a glue dot. So we're going to take one of these. I'm going to take the backing off while it's sitting here on my piece. Come on. And then pull it onto the back. And then you can just take that piece off. Hopefully it comes off. There you go. And I got that glue, see, stuck to my finger. And you're just going to stick that here on the bottom of the card. How cute is that? And that is our front. We need to put gems on it, but before we do, let's stick it to the card. So again, we're going to grab our tear and tape. So we're going to grab, we could have used tear and tape on that. I probably should have did that. So we're going to grab our piece. Forgot to flip it. We should have used tear and tape on it. That would have made it easier and quicker. And there, because we got plenty of tear and tape. 3, 4. Okay, just push it a bit, and then these should peel back easily, like that. And I'll be back for more videos, so you can always go back to my YouTube channel. Facebook only holds them for 30 days, but I post a lot, so it gets lost in Facebook anyway. And then you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Nemi's Crafty Cafe, and you can pick up whatever videos you like to watch from there. Or if you'd like to host a card club, then, by all means, give me a call or send me a text message, and I'll gladly bring a bunch of kits like these over for you to create with, for you and your friends to create with. I don't even need to be there, really. You can do it amongst yourself, but, I like to socialize as well. I have a few drinks, bring out some abbeys, catch up with each other, and create. And if you don't finish, you can always just take the kits home and finish them at your leisure. And pop in and check out the videos. So easy. But it is a lot of fun. And we have so many new products coming out right now. It's so much fun. Okay. Now we're going to peel these off. So we did the same thing. We added our tear and tape to the back. And we're just peeling them off. And then that becomes the inside of our card. So you can see it's a lot difficult to write on red. So white's so much easier. And that's our card. So this is my original, and there's our copy, and it looks practically the same. Perfect. Okay, so then you're going to stick that back in your envelope, and then we're off to the races. This, I think, this one is probably my favorite. I love the color scheme of this, and you can see the secret C is like, oh, this blue is like my new favorite color. For those of you that know me, and have been crafting with me for a long time, it's now like Night of Navy has always been my favorite, but now I think this secret C has replaced it. Sorry, Night of Navy, still love you, but you know. So now we're going to be using our season's greetings. So when you pull this kit out, you should have your card layer, your base, and then all your pieces, your bits in here. So you need this fancy tag. Move that all aside. And we're going to put season's greetings on it. So it has a little bit of a dip and a dip there. So you just want to line that up, knowing where you're actually going to put it. And it curves just a bit to fit nicely in that slot. And again, we're going to pick it up. We're going to add our ink. Tap, tap, tap. Till it's nice and evenly spread. Yep. And then we're going to drop in place. Oh, I might not have enough ink on that S. I'm seeing it now. I'm going to hold just for like 3 seconds and then pick up. Oh, it did. Perfect. Phew. Okay. And then we're going to clean it off. Let me get right in there. And I'm going to put that back into our container. Okay. That's it. Assembly required. That's it. So we're going to build our beautiful focal point. So again, these two pieces are the same, so width-wise, and we're going to drop those here onto our center. Now, don't worry if you leave a little bit of gap. We're going to cover it with the sentiment, so don't panic. So we're going to grab our tear tape. Where's my end? I'm trying to find my end. Oh, there it is. And we're going to peel a bit off again, just using that little bit. Oops, I missed hanging off the edge there. I missed. So just gotta make sure I tuck that in. And just push that in so that way it's not hanging off my card and then my card is sticking. Okay, just rubbing that down because it wants to lift the whole thing. And again, the other corners, grab your toothpick. So much easier. Just use your toothpick or take your pick tool. Come on. And then we're gonna put that on top. Then we're gonna do the same again. Oh, look at that pretty flower. And on the back side. Okay, there's our 1, 2, 3, and then the other corner. 4. Okay. Now, if you use liquid glue, just don't waste your liquid glue. Doesn't need to be. If you're using our glue, it holds so well that you really only need to get those corners and maybe a dollop in the middle. I don't know why I try to bother. There we go. So much faster and quicker. Till I said that. There. And then we're lining that up right against there. And there we have it. Now this guy, you're going to put some dimensionals on. So we'll put one on that end, one on the other extreme end, and one in the middle so it doesn't droop when you're actually putting it on here. And it gives it that little lift in the card. And we'll just center that across the joint. And now attach it to our next layer. All the layers are coming together. Now you're probably like, well, why doesn't she just run a whole strip along the whole bottom and along the whole top? You can. But me, I'm frugal. I'm a Winnipegger. And I'm telling you, a little goes a long way. So I'm not going to waste an entire amount of glue and run 4 big massive lines when I know this adhesive holds. So we just need a little bit and it goes a long way. Okay, so don't waste. And then we're just going to center that again, like so. And then one more layer, and that is the front of the card. And this covers the whole front, so you shouldn't see white at all. So again, we're going to do it the same thing because we're frugal and don't want to waste amazing product, right? Trust me, it'll hold on their mantle while they're displaying it through the holiday seasons. Okay? A little goes a long way. Okay, I should really just leave it there because I use my left hand and I'm reaching across with my right. There we go. Okay, and then we're just gonna, I like to stand them side by side and just tap it in place and it goes in. And then we need our pink gems that you should have on your sheet, and we're gonna add 3. So we're gonna put a big one down here with a wee one, like a little one. And then you have another big one which can go anywhere up here, just to feature the eye elsewhere. And there we go. So that was my original, and there's a second one. Perfect. Put that in my envelope. And last but not least, it's a very simple but yet fun card. And this one uses our Jolly Delivery Designer Series paper and has a few little houses. So this goes to this simple as simple can be, because it's so cute. So you have a strip of Poppy Parade, and you just want to make sure that you have the same amount of gap along the top and along the bottom, which should be about 1/4 of an inch, as you can see here, equal spacing. So we're going to grab that tear tape again. Now in this case, because we're only an inch and a half, we're just going to add a longer piece rather than doing 4. Just put 2 longer pieces, and we're going to add a longer piece in the middle. And if you make it too long, just go at an angle. So there's my 3. Now I tell you, this sticks really fast. So when you lay this down and you're like, oh no, I'm crooked, you got to be careful because you won't be able to rip it off. That's how strong this glue is. All this static. Okay, so I would start at one end. Make sure you're even on both sides and lining up to that edge. So, and then lay down on the other side. And you should be okay. And we are, because it should go edge to edge. Now we're going to need the stamp says "Tis the Season," so we're going to grab that one. Add that to our block. Now it's going to be a little too small. Or the block is too small, the wording's too long. So you're going to go at an angle. So now my sentiment is on my block at a diamond shape, at an angle, because it's just a little too tight. And let me show you that again. So I'll use the back. So there's my stamp. And you're just going to pick it up, because this is not a square block, at an angle. There you go. Okay. Now, ooh, I almost stamped that one. Now, knowing that I'm going to be roughly in the middle, I want my sentiment to go there. So I'm going to use this as a guide just to make sure. And if I screw up, I can just slide this and cover it up and then put my sentiment at the bottom. Haha. Little tip and trick for you. So we're going to grab our ink, make sure it's inked up well. And I know I'm going to be roughly there. Okay. So then I'm going to just drop that right on top. Hopefully I'm straight. I usually do this on the other way. There we go. Beauty. Love it. So now we're going to flip this and we're going to grab our tear and tape again. Where is that end? There it is. Wish it would change colors or something so that I know where the end is. Oh, put that on there and our last piece. Oops, that one I made a little too long, so I'll just go at an angle again. No biggie. It's just adhesive. Oh, switching hands. Okay. So right below our sentiment, we're going to put this block. And again, this one should line up perfectly. And slide that just like so. A simple card, but it has the candy shop, all that fun stuff. And you should have 3 gems left, or I should say embellishments. And we're going to pick those up and we're going to drop them wherever we want. Okay, I have to use the gummy side. There we go. And our third one way down here. So we always put gems in threes or odd evens and in odds, not evens, and spread them out in some kind of triangular shape. Because then what it does is it pulls the eye in all directions and allows everybody to see more of the card. You're like visually, your eyes just do that. So there you go. Those are the 6 cards. If you have any questions or you're stumped, by all means, text or call me. Again, I have 2 kits available. They are $42 each, so just message me, DM me, email me, text me, whichever you prefer. But we've literally made 6 cards and 6 beautiful cards that I think you can add your own flair to and use. So so these 3 were from the paper we used that I gave you from the traditional, the coordinating paper. And then we have our other 3, which came from the paper pumpkin kit. Right? So there's that one. And this one with the fun ornament on it. Right there. And then joy. So I hope you really enjoy creating those. And if you are an avid stamper, you can add your own flair to it, have a little more fun with them. But if if you're a beginner, I hope you actually found that that wasn't too difficult. If you have any questions, feel free to connect with me, and I look forward to stamping with you again in the near future. Have a great day and happy stamping!